So here it is, practically back from the grave. This thing is almost 50 years old. This is the first prototype horn that my father made for Olds on the Mellophone that we talked about previously. And you can see he's already been working on the bell design. The bell actually says First Proto Mellow, Chris Grow, 1968. I remember Chris, he's one of the charter members of the Velvet Knights like I was, and we grew up together. And Chris was the mellophone player, chosen mellophone player. I was playing French horn, I switched back to soprano at this time. Chris switched to mellophone, and we were getting ready to premiere the Olds horns at the Chicago Opera House in 1968. My dad was working on that, so that sounded good. So here again, it's in the bell, a lot of it, the design. You know, you got to understand the taper if you're going to get a better instrument. Now this thing's leaking a little bit. I'm going to play it for you. It's in the key of G, of course, because it's a bugle. But you can hear already that now, compared to the Kenton Mellophonium, and by the way, this is a Kenton Mellophonium. This is an article in the Brass Herald this month done on Tony Scodwell. Tony Scodwell's a good friend of the family's, and he was a mellophone player in the Kenton Orchestra, and he'll tell you how those things play. But these actually play. Now here's the first prototype mellophone, and you can hear that the pitch center's getting better. Now I can't play it right now. We just got this back. Jack Bevins, who ran the Velvet Knights for over 20 years, did a great job with them after we started the corps. He kept this. I can't believe this. This is like it's back from the grave. You know, Jack, this thing is just amazing. I can't believe we still got it. But Jack sent it to us so we could have it here at the factory as a museum piece. But you can see that the rotor's broken and the piston won't work. But I hope you could hear from that how that design for the mellophone helped to center the pitch. And of course my dad has tweaked it since. Now we have, this is the ultimate mellophone. Here again with the tune any note feature. That's the fixed tuning slide. And this is in F, so it's going to be a step lower. Much nicer, I think. Darker sound. But here again, humble beginnings. And now we have beautiful mellophone instruments. Many of the bands have been playing them for years. This picture behind me here is Carmel High School. In this picture, they had them in the middle 90s. And they did it, let's see, they did the alto, which I'm going to show you here in a second, the mellophone, and the French horn. They did all three. That's like 21 players there in that picture. And they did a beautiful job, by the way. That was under the fine direction of Richard Cicito, who I think most of you have heard of. And this is the alto. Now, we kind of discontinued this due to lack of sales interest, but I think really it has its place because it doesn't have the big bell like the mellophone, so therefore it can blend in a little bit more. Not quite the presence of the mellophone, but it's a jazzy horn. I don't play much anymore, so I'm not going to embarrass myself, but this is a great horn, and we may bring it back in the line. We just may do that because I think it's got merit. Here again, Carmel High School did it justice. And of course we have the French horn too. Now the French horn was why my dad created the playable mellophone for the marching band, because it was difficult to play the French horn. This French horn was originally designed in G for the Santa Clara Vanguard. One of the kids from Santa Clara was taken from Vince DeRosa. Many of you know who Vince DeRosa is, one of the finest French horn players in Hollywood. He gave the horn to play to Vince DeRosa. Vince DeRosa played it, and he gives it back to the kid, and he says, "That's the only French horn I ever played in tune without having to stick your hand in the bell." So that's quite a compliment that comes from a player like that. And my dad bent the lead pipe like this to accommodate the proper French horn embouchure, which I don't play with. I mean, I'm a trumpet player, but it has a nice sound. Give it to a French horn player, he'll really make it sound. As a matter of fact, this is the Illinois State Marching Band, Big Red. And that's Joe Neisler, who has recently retired from a successful career there at Illinois State for many decades. Congratulations, Joe. But he appreciated the quality of this horn, so he got it for his horn players that were playing in the marching band, so they'd have a real good instrument to play on. They got these, I think it says they're back in 1998, so they played them for many years. I think they're still playing them. So that gives you a little bit of the history of the middle voice as we know it in the marching arts. We're going to continue in these series. There will be more videos for you to watch. In the future, we're going to do one on what's behind me here. That's the Longhorn Band in Texas. And they have these marching euphoniums of ours that they've had since 1995. If you want to know how they get that beefy bass in their marching band, it's with 22 of these marching euphoniums. That's what they bought back in 1995. Still have them today and play them very well. So we'll sign off for now. We'll see you next time.